Tatyova, Bethic Druid versus Samut, Voice of Dissent, and that's sketchy. I think we can keep that because we can get into Oracle of Muldiah. Question is our opponent going to scoop as soon as they see all this stuff coming into play? We can do it at instant speed, so I think we'll just play a forest and then pass over, and we can go into Burgeoning, Thought Vessel and Mana Crypt, and then get into Oracle of Muldiah, and that will be our hand well and truly empty. So we'll have to see if we actually manage to get into anything off of our library from the Oracle of Muldiah. We only have 2 cards left in hand, so our opponent shouldn't scoop. But sometimes people automatically quit as soon as they see Mana Crypt. Go after Oracle now. Okay. Get the Obero out and yeah, pass over to our opponent. We can get Tatyova out next turn. Hopefully we don't lose Oracle of Muldiah, because that could help us get back into this game. If we go... Okay, Amulet of Vigour is fine. If we go into Tatyova next turn and then start messing around with Obero, and we can't do anything with that, so that's fine. Yeah, if we start messing around with this Obero, we can pay a colourless mana, or not colourless, a generic mana, to return it to our hand and then replay it. We can do that a couple of times with Oracle, and that will of course trigger landfall with Tatyova, so see if we can rebuild a hand here. We do have a land on top, which will get us even closer to landfall triggers, but we do have another land on top, so I think I'd like to actually draw into these. Yeah, this is going really nicely for us now. Oracle of Muldiah doing some work for us. Yeah, I think we can go for Breeding Pool tapped. That's fine. Alright, and then if we swing in now, and we can go over our opponent's commander. Well, first off, Tatyova, Bethic Druid is 5 mana, 3/3. Whenever a land enters under our control, we gain a life and draw a card. And Burgeoning is triggering on our opponent's land drop, so we can get into that. And then we get bolted from the Mana Crypt, and Samut is 5 mana in Gruul for a 3/4 flash, double strike, vigilance, haste. Other creatures have haste. And white and tap. Untap another target creature. And I think Corsair of Krufix would be nice here. Should really get down Ramunap, but I don't want to. In fact, actually, yeah, we can get down Ramunap now. So, pretty risky start for us here, but it did pay off for us. We can go into this fetch now and get lots of triggers off that. We now gain 2 life from our landfall triggers. Yeah, we'll go for the island off the top. And we draw into Lotus Cobra, which is nice. I think I'd actually... might just be playing into a board wipe here actually, so I'm just going to hold everything up here. We've run out of landfall triggers for the turn, so we'll just swing into our opponent and see if they've got a board wipe handy for us. Okay, yeah, that triggers again, so we get to go for the island that's in our hand. And that will of course draw us a card and gain us a couple of life. Okay, they need to let the triggers resolve first before they do anything else. And they're going for an elf. Ooh, Zelvala, very nice. We do actually have more creatures than them, so they'll have to get into something big to make that relevant. Their commander might help them though, and we'll go and crack this now and get into a forest. No, we can go for Tropical Island. And then we'll Lotus Cobra. And then Tragic Lesson. And this is draw 2 cards, then discard a card unless you return a land you control to its owner's hand. I think we can just discard a couple of cards here. Or discard a card. Oh yeah, well that's fine. We have Ramunap out, so that is fine. Get back over to our turn. Doesn't really matter if we get bolted because we're gaining so much life. Deglamour is nice to have in hand as well. We'll just go for Island out of the graveyard. I'm going to play through this quickly as I can because I appreciate how patient our opponent's being here. We have gotten into a pretty good start. And we draw into that Heroic Intervention, which is really nice. That'll protect us from board wipes. And then we get Sakura Tribe Elder down. And I think that will do it for us, so why don't we see about swinging in here. That'll be that, that, and that. Yep, that's fine. And if we get a landfall trigger next turn off of the Burgeoning, we can draw into Mana Drain and really help draw this game to a close, I think. Yeah, we'll go for Hinterland Harbour. And that will get us into the Mana Drain that's in our hand. Okay, and we don't care too much about seeing that Harrow on top, so we'll shuffle up our library and get a basic while we are at it. Grab a forest, and we of course reveal another land off the top. So if you've ever wondered, and Harrow gets back on top, that's amusing. If you ever wondered why people think that Oracle of Muldiah is so good, this is why. You can see how much work it's done in this game. It's actually the reason that we've managed to do this. Eternal Witness onto... No, we don't need to do anything like that. I think, in fact, what we can do is... we try and keep track of which lands are going to have Summoning Sickness off of the Sylvan Awakening. Yeah, we can go for the Sylvan Awakening, I think. And we do, of course, have Heroic Intervention mana held up as well. So I'm not too worried about any kind of instant speed board wipe or anything like that. I don't know if there's one that I'm particularly worried about anyway. Okay, and then we go in for however much damage that is, and I assume that that is all the damage that we need to do. We have Thought Vessel and the Verdant Catacombs up for Heroic Intervention. And this isn't a typical game with Tatyova. We were just pretty lucky with the cards that we had in hand there and the fact that our opponent didn't have anything to disrupt us with. So I wouldn't go taking this deck into competitive EDH games or anything like that, but can get some pretty fast starts, so this is typical of that, I think. And I think they get to... I don't know if they get to draw a card off that, because we do have 3 power on the board. But we'll see if they can manage to block and keep themselves from dying here. Props to our opponent for playing this out. It says a lot about an individual when you're willing to just play these games out, because I think it was a pretty unfair advantage from us, to be honest. And we'll go through to damage and see if we can... Yeah, we go down to -16. I assumed that we had enough damage on board, but just in case, I wanted to keep our Tatyova around and also keep the lands from being destroyed as well, although none of those were being blocked. Yeah, that is Tatyova, Bethic Druid. Unlucky for our opponent, we managed to just play out our entire hand and then get back into the game from there. Had they have had removal, which I assume they have in the deck, had they have had removal for Tatyova, Bethic Druid, I think that game would have gone very, very differently. But as it happens, they didn't, so we got lucky. And yeah, an enjoyable game. Props to our opponent, because I think it would be quite disheartening to see a board state like that swinging in against you so early in the game. Turn 6 wins aren't typically what I like to upload on the channel, unless it's something like Lazav the Multifarious, like faster builds like that. I tend to like back and forths and all that type of thing in a game, so not typical of Tatyova, but a pretty good win nonetheless, and hopefully you enjoyed it. It shows a little bit of what Tatyova can do. Decklist is in the description. If any of you want to steal this deck and have a run with it yourself, you're more than welcome to do that. I'm tribalkai on the EDH channel. Thank you for watching.